Your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to watch new Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning in theaters out now. I just saw it this week. Holy crap, what a movie! What a movie. Watched it in IMAX, the best viewing experience for this film. Tom Cruise is a legend. Tom Cruise is a legend, the man, the myth himself. And two thumbs way up for Mission Impossible. So that's what the theme of this pod will be about, like real life Mission Impossible and the movie, and kind of what we can take from that. So yeah, now I'm not a movie reviewer per se, though I love movies, right? I got to catch a late afternoon showing in the IMAX theater here in Dallas, and right after work, and wow, the things that Tom Cruise does in this film is absolutely mind-boggling, and um, we know it's a movie, okay? The audience knows it's a movie, which means it's all set, it's all created, it's all controlled and whatever, make believe, if you will. But Tom Cruise is the only actor, maybe ever, but certainly now, that's actually doing the most insane things for real, including but not limited to jumping off an airplane at a very high altitude with a parachute, jumping off a mountain, and parachuting off a mountain, and in this film, actually hanging on the side of an airplane with no parachute. I'm not kidding. He is not wearing a parachute as he's hanging onto the side of a biplane, because that would be more dangerous in case it deployed while they were flying. So yeah, that sounds like Mission Impossible to me, um, and I highly recommend that. Tom Cruise is a legend. Okay, Tom Cruise is a legend, and he proves in many ways that uh, mind over matter really is true, and it really comes down to that. Okay, it comes down to mind over matter, because as you can see, as anyone can guess, majority of human beings on Earth, are never going to be hanging off an airplane, and never need to, for that matter. Not certainly not taking a motorcycle off a mountain, okay, and for sure not hanging off the side of the largest building in the world, the Burj Khalifa. All of which Mr. Tom Cruise himself has done for real in the movie, and yeah, so there's a lot to take away from Tom and the legendary Tom Cruise and these Mission Impossible films. Okay, yeah. So number one is mind over matter. Okay, because Tom, in his mind, saw all those stunts before he decided to focus on it and make it a reality in a film. So if anyone has seen the interview with Tom Cruise and I, I guess maybe Matt Damon talking about Tom Cruise, but he said that Tom Cruise mentioned that he was dreaming of the Burj Khalifa, climbing off the side of the building, tallest building in the world, for years, and then he hired a safety guy, and he explained what to the safety guy what he wanted to do, and the safety guy said we couldn't do that, and then Tom Cruise said okay, okay, and then he got another safety guy as a joke, um, but yeah, when other Hollywood actors and legends and themselves like Matt Damon are saying that you win, there's no way I'm even gonna consider something like that. It's the side of a building or jumping off a plane. Tom Cruise is in a world of his own. Okay. Now, it reminds me of this Napoleon Hill quote. Okay, which is who is the author of some of the most amazing books ever, including Think and Grow Rich. Okay, probably one of the most influential books in the business world ever, for sure. Basically, how the mind perceives, and the quote being anything a man can conceive, any idea that a man can conceive and believe, he can achieve. So that's Tom Cruise in a nutshell. Okay, uh, he is pushing himself to the absolute brink of human capability, basically, literally for us, the audience, to enjoy. And hats off to him. There wouldn't even be a Mission Impossible series without him. In fact, he was one of the producers from the uh, very first movie way back in the mid '90s, and it was adapted from a TV show from the '70s and '80s. Okay, so with the help of him and other folks at Paramount Studios, they made it into a pretty much successful movie franchise. And to me, I think it's one of the best action movie franchises ever. Um, hot take: it might be a better overall franchise than James Bond. Don't come at me. Um, I'm just I'm thinking about all the films, and I'm thinking about kind of how they push beyond every movie, and it just keeps going up. Um, I've never seen really any dip in quality. Maybe number two a long time ago, but other than that, it's just been a steadily increasing, like keep pushing film franchise. So to me, it's actually kind of better than James Bond. Now you could argue that the Daniel Craig movies are in itself like their own series of James Bond movies, independent, and that has an arc, and then they do push the boundaries there with the action and the story and everything. So those are pretty good, but only really two stand out. Anyway, I digress. Um, yeah, to me, it's one of the best action movie franchises ever, and potentially the best literal action franchise. Which is its own category. So, yeah, we can take a lot from Mr. Cruz, okay, in our regular life. Now, I just want to caveat: nobody, I repeat, nobody is saying that you, me, anyone has to actually hang off the side of an airplane to determine the power of the mind. Okay, no one's saying that, right? Or the power of the body. Um, there's an insanely incredible submarine sequence, which I honestly have no idea how they did it because it's so realistic. It actually does seem like it's a real sub. He's actually underwater. I mean, he is underwater, but the fact that it looks like a real sub in the ocean is like insane, mind-boggling. So, but Tom Cruise is actually capable of holding his breath for more than 5 minutes underwater. That is true. He has said that on record. He's been proven to do so, and in other movies, he's probably did it too. So that is true. Even though in this one he's in a wetsuit. Um, but anyway, so Tom Cruise, number one, has a vision that he wants to accomplish in the films that he wants to do. And the two most notable franchises would be Top Gun and Mission Impossible, right? And to take the Top Gun example, he said that he would not even consider a sequel unless he really felt that the script was right. And it took quite a bit of time, over 20 plus years, 25 years, until they got a solid sequel script that he was happy with. And then him and the director, I forget his name, but and the MI director McQuarrie, Christopher McQuarrie, they collaborated and they were able to make photorealistic, basically recording actors in real jets while they're actually flying for real. Like that's real. That's not fake. And that's all from Tom Cruise's mindset, his vision. Now, so number one, he has a vision, okay, to want to push the boundary of film and especially the movies that he's part of. And this guy does actually have the need for speed. He's actually kind of a thrill seeker, which is not most people anyway, even on a regular life, right? Very few people even skydive, right? Have the even the guts to go skydiving, which even though it's very safe and you have an instructor certified and everything. Um, so yeah, so Tom has a actual passion and love for the thrills, for skydiving, for flying airplanes, which he has license for flying airplanes and choppers, and he has his own choppers and planes, I guess, and for many other he listed in interviews you can find on YouTube. So he actually has a genuine passion for that. Number one, right? Um, like I said, he has vision for what he wants to accomplish. So vision is important in life, right? If you have a vision, you have to write it down, and then you just figure out steps to accomplish that vision, right? I just heard in a recent Friday prayer khutbah we call sermon essentially that nobody can graduate in one day or 1 week or 1 year, right? You have to go through every single grade, every single year, 12 plus years in high school and beyond, right? Only then can you graduate. So there's a steps to it, there's process to it, and you can't shortcut it, right? Uh, that being said, the vision of accomplishing the goal of graduation and getting your education and degree or whatever, that's the focal point. You start with the end in mind, right? So your goal is to be educated and grow. So and then you accomplish that step, which is a stepping point to a next stage, right? But you can't go to the next stage without that step. So, um, so yeah, vision extremely important. And what else? Now Tom Cruise pushes the limits. We'll get to that of the pushing the limits, but certainly belief. Okay, belief and dedication. You have to have belief and dedication in any aspect in life. Okay, if you're not in shape, you have to actually believe that you will be in shape, but you also have to be dedicated towards doing what it takes to be in shape. Make sense? So you can't be successful without belief or dedication. I mean, think about it. Whoever won thinking I really don't believe I'm gonna win. I really didn't believe Amazon would be an amazing company, or Elon. Elon has never ever said I really didn't believe Tesla would be successful or SpaceX. Even when they faced extreme difficulty, and even when they faced potential like bankruptcy or something, actual real life problem, but never stopped them. And vision was so strong, belief was so strong, dedication, effort, everything was strong enough. Now that Tesla is basically the number one car brand in the world, and SpaceX is launching rockets all the time. So yeah, the future definitely does belong to those who are very focused and belief and dedicated and so forth. Tom Cruise is such a great living example. Okay, um, so yeah, Mission Impossible is a phenomenal movie, and it's very entertaining, and there's a lot of drama. In fact, there's a lot of drama. It's not just action. Some people want more action, some people want less action, whatever, right? But we are an audience. We're very privileged to just be able to sit down and watch a movie in which a man is hanging off the side of an airplane for real. Like we're really fortunate to do that. And now most people aren't gonna look at that and say, you know what? If Tom Cruise can hang off a plane or jump off or jump off a mountain and for real and multiple times to make a movie, then I could take that same mentality and apply it to my life and overcome my obstacles, overcome things I'm challenging with, right? Now, the average person is not going to think that, okay? If you're listening to me, I hope you don't see yourself as an average person. I hope you see yourself as a beyond average. I certainly don't see myself as average, for sure. And I mean, if you're a person that wants to grow themselves, any person that wants to become better in anything in life, a person that wants to learn more in life, a person who wants to do more, a person who wants to become more, you literally cannot be average because you're going another step beyond what's considered average. Okay, so Tom Cruise is the epitome of that. Okay, the actual epitome of action movie star who is doing real stunts, and most people was like, no, let the stunt guy do that, let the stunt guy jump off the thing. No, Tom Cruise says, I in fact, this takes me to his best quote. One of the quotes that he says that I absolutely love is says, at the filming of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1, don't be careful, be competent. I almost thought he said confident, which is also true, but Yes. Okay. Everyone thinks, okay, you're about to jump off an airplane. You're about to skydive. You're about be careful, right? His mindset is be competent. Okay. Be good at what you're doing. Be prepared. Be ready. Practice. Belief. It's he doesn't even worry about careful. He is worried a little bit about careful, but his mindset is be competent. So being good at doing something, which comes by repetition, which becomes by refining, which comes by teamwork, team effort, dedication, vision, all those things. Okay, and there's a lot of real life scenarios for this, right? Um, I mean, you know, many of us can run marathons, okay, and now, yes, can you pull a muscle? Knock on wood, running a marathon. Yeah, it's happened to people I know. You know, can you get hurt playing sports? Yeah, got knock on wood. That's happened to me for sure many times. I used to play a lot of sports, and excuse me. Can you? I mean, you can get hurt in the kitchen making dinner. You know what I mean? So there's always a risk to everything in life, but that doesn't mean you don't take risk. We talked about this before in the channel, but the biggest risk in life is not taking any risk. It is for sure the biggest risk. So there is no life without risk. Okay. Anyway, without Tom Cruise's dedication, focus, passion, commitment, um, belief, we wouldn't have Mission Impossible. It literally stems from specifically him. And so, yes, he's an amazing film star, and we love to watch the movies. But let's take that into our life. How can I be a Tom Cruise of my life? Look at it like that, okay? Uh, and he's also sprinting, by the way, full speed at age 62. Okay, that's amazing in itself, and to be honest, that is possible for many people if they devote themselves to it. I already have a goal that I'm going to be in Tom Cruise shape in my later years, inshallah. But that comes down to me being focused, being determined, and taking action on a regular basis towards that. Okay, so yeah, I'm already committed. Like, okay, I see him climbing a rope off a helicopter. I won't be doing that, but just climbing a rope, I can do that at the nearby gym somewhere. And he's doing that at 50 plus 60. So I'm like, I'm half that age, or so, a little bit over. But like, why can't I do that? I simply have to dedicate myself to it, practice, learn, get better, improve, repetition, repetition. Eventually, I will do it. I know it just takes time and commitment, like and so forth. So, yeah, climbing a rope, I'm gonna do it. Getting good at climbing rope. In fact, he inspired me to actual bouldering to actually learn how to climb. In fact, so I'm gonna check out indoor gyms that have the climbing bouldering aspect there, which you can climb on the side. And I think sometimes they use rope. A lot of times they don't use rope. So that's going to be one of my goals this summer. Okay, is getting good at climbing. Uh, I already do hiking and working out and walking and so forth. So and jogging. So yeah, so I was inspired by Mr. Cruz. Okay, 62 full speed running. That is really him running. Obviously, you can't fake that. Um, well, I mean that's another conversation. But so yes, I if you see excellence, okay, in other words, if you see excellence displayed somewhere on screen in the form of athletic competition, right, in the form of movie stars doing something incredible on the screen, um, what I would tell myself is, how can I do that? What it takes for me to do that? Not that, "Oh, I wish I could do it." Not the, "Oh man, I could never do that." Now, some things, yes, is beyond the is we're talking about within the realm of reality, right? So running, jumping, whatever, climbing, flying, that is in the realm of reality. I'm not talking about science fiction like transporting or flying like Superman or like Batman doing his thing. I'm not saying that. Within the realm of reality, right? So if Tom Cruise is sprinting full speed for minutes, I guess I don't know about minutes, but definitely for a while, uh, in his early 60s, I'm like, I don't have any excuse to not try to do that in my age, mid 30s. Okay, um, And so yeah, this takes a higher elevation of mindset. This takes a little bit greater mentality to consider that, but that's certainly what I recommend. Okay. Now, so real life Mission Impossibles, what does that look like? Okay. The number, I would say that one of the top fears and what people seem look at as like an impossible thing is just meeting new people, just going out there, meeting new people, saying hello. Especially now, the opposite gender is already meeting someone, introducing yourself to the opposite gender is already like anxiety producing. Okay, but that doesn't mean that you can't get better at that with practice and skill. Okay, now whoever you meet, male, female, non-binary, whatever, whoever, um, it's still meeting someone you don't know and potentially opening doors for something new, or maybe new friendships, maybe bigger network, right? Your network is your net worth. We've, I'm sure everyone has heard that. So in today's world, opening doors only comes in the form of uh, saying hello to someone, introducing yourself, or just saying hi. That's it, right? You never know. It could be turned into a friendship. It could turn into a potential relationship. And for guys, like that's it's kind of there's no way around it. You're gonna have to say hello to a woman, a female, one point, right? Because I don't think any female wants a guy that doesn't is too scared to say hello to her, right? So, yeah, that's how you call a modern day Mission Impossible, but it's really nothing. You If you have a goal to network and meet new people, then you simply improve your skills and get better and work towards that goal. Last weekend, I met a few people. I had a good time. We had me and some buddies went to the pool party, and I definitely introduced myself to new people, and we had a nice chat, And uh, now whether it turns into something or not, that's not the point. But introducing yourself and saying hello is the first step. It's required. You have to, and you don't have to say like, "Hey, what's up?" like all the time. You can just notice something. Like, I like your shoes. I like your tattoo. Oh, do you work out here often? Whatever you want to say. Any kind of opening line. So that's in most people's head. It's fear, and that's what they consider like a mission impossible. But like in life, you have that's something that's a skill that needs to be developed for success. Because in your job, you're going to meet people you don't know, obviously, especially after day one or day one and beyond. And then in school, you're going to meet people you don't know, right? So life, we're always potentially meeting someone new based on where we work or who we hang out with or who we get into relationships with. Doesn't matter. New people are always there, which means you have to be willing to say hello and open doors to someone, initiate conversation. But purely for the sense of networking, yes, that is 100% required. Is everyone gonna be open to it? No. Is everyone gonna be super friendly about it? Maybe not. Is everyone and am I saying have an expectation to get a certain number of connections or whatever? Maybe not. No. But if you don't make the effort, then nothing will happen at all, right? And especially if you're a man, if you're a male, uh, you're gonna have to have a conversation with a female eventually. If you are gonna want to be in a relationship with one, right? So there's no way around it. And of course that leads to next steps and holding conversation and meeting for hours and talking and beyond blah 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 blah, right? So there's always a first step. The only way to let go of rejection is fear, taking action, saying something. And I'm happy to say I'm in my friend group. I have the least fear, and I took the most action. What do you know? And I met the most people. I definitely spoke to the most females there of all the people all the people I was with. Not to boast or brag, but I'm not afraid. And some people are married. Okay, cool. No worries. Nice to meet you. Some people are single. Okay, cool. Some people not interested. Whatever. But if you're in a social setting, Um, like that's just a normal thing to do, right? And yeah, I mean, I got to know people, have random conversations that maybe don't go anywhere, but uh, I still learned a lot, and I think it's very important that this mission, right, should you choose to accept it, um, is taken seriously because uh, if you network with the right person, your career could improve, your education could improve, so many things. So, getting outside your comfort zone. So, lastly, like I said, Mission Impossible, amazing. Final Reckoning, amazing. It's definitely worth to watch in IMAX. Okay, I highly recommend. And yeah, in real life, uh, think about the Tom Cruise mindset. He is actually hanging off of planes for real. He's actually jumping off a building. So the next time you find yourself in a difficult situation, just ask yourself, wait, is this really that difficult? Or I mean, if Tom Cruise can hang off a plane, I can't talk to her. Or if Tom Cruise is hanging off a plane, I can't just relax and not let this problem affect me. Or if Tom Cruise is jumping off a mountain, I'm scared about this test approaching, or I'm worried about what my boss thinks or what my boss is gonna say. You know what I'm saying? So that's a real life version of the Mission Impossible thing. So yeah, I pray Tom Cruise keeps making movies. I really want to see Tom Cruise and Keanu Reeves in a movie. That'll be awesome. Uh, Ethan Hunt and John Wick. That would be epic. Two of the greatest in their own respective categories. So yeah, that movie just inspired me, to face whatever I consider impossible. It's really mostly in my head. Focus on my goals, taking action, getting outside comfort zone, and definitely pushing myself because you can't do what Tom Cruise does without pushing yourself. You can't stay at a certain point. You have to push past whatever your conceived limits are. Okay, so if you only run 1 mile a week, push it to two. You know, or if you only run 3 miles every few days, push it to 5 or 6. You know what I'm saying? Or if you only do 20 push-ups, do 40 or do 50. Okay, so we have to constantly push ourselves. Otherwise, we're gonna be stuck in this one area. We're gonna be stuck, and we can't face the impossible without that, right? So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about today. That being said, thank you for tuning in. If you liked, please hit the thumbs up, a like button, and subscribe for more. And with that, again, my name is Smosh. Thanks for tuning in, and just remember, just some perspective.